Hello, can you explain the very first step? Does it go like this? 1, paycheck in bank. 2, deposit into PLOC. 3, deposit back into bank and pay bills. So let's see if I can answer your question. Now, this is just the way my PLOC works, okay? Here's my bank. I have a credit union. Here's my checking. And here is my credit card that I used as a PLOC. Now, how did I do that? Well, if you have a link, and sometimes the banks or credit unions will link your credit card to your checking, okay? So let's say I have $1,000 in my credit line here. If I have, say, my $50 water bill come in, so $50 comes in and it hits a zero balance in my checking account, it will automatically transfer that $50. Then I would have $950 available with a $50 balance. Over here, while it takes this back down to zero. So this is how you use a credit card or a PLOC with your checking account the easiest way. This is how mine works. I have heard that some people have banks that will not link these two like this. Also, I have zero fees charged for doing this. So make sure that you know what you're doing before you start doing it. But yes, your income, if your income is $500, and it comes into the checking, I have to transfer it myself over here into this line of credit if I need money in the line. So the 500 would go over here to pay down this balance, any balance that you have here. But if you have the link, then when anything comes in to be paid, you would keep your checking at a zero balance. When it hits the zero, it should automatically transfer out. And this is why we say it serves like an overdraft protection. Okay, so definitely check and make sure that your bank works this way. I have some people with banks that they have to go in and manually transfer. So if you manually have to go in and transfer money to your checking, then just transfer the amounts needed on that day. So if you know that you have a $50 payment that's coming in to be paid tomorrow, you would go ahead and transfer $50 today over here to make sure you catch that. Now that's tedious. You have to stay on top of that. With me, I don't. It just automatically transfers. But if you have to do the transfers, just make sure that you're not going to have anything returned because you didn't have the money in your checking when it was needed. Okay, I hope that that makes sense. I don't have any lines of credit, trying to get even a secured credit card, but keep getting rejected, feeling discouraged. Stay encouraged. I don't know your exact situation, but do not get discouraged. Just keep doing what you need to do to get your credit score up, maybe, if that's what you need to be working on. A lot of people have gotten into these debt consolidation scams that are out there. Please be careful with that. My goodness, if I cannot tell you how many people that I work with that are involved in those. The only option is Money Max at that point, because once they get a hold of your credit cards, they get them under their control. You're paying them to do nothing. I'm telling you, it ruins your credit. I've seen credit scores in the low 500s with that, and you cannot get anything with a 500 credit score, okay? So please be careful about jumping into consolidation stuff. Okay. All right. So here's a number one tip. If you haven't heard me to say it in the videos, how do I give my credit score a little boost? Let's talk about that. Okay, so the number one way that I have found to boost a credit score is by using your credit cards correctly. Okay, what do I mean by that? All right, interest on credit cards has like a 25-day cycle. Okay, so what that means is that you get a due date, and let's say it's $200. $200 is due on, let's say, September the 25th. Okay, so you know I have to pay $200 to the credit card company by September the 25th, or they're going to charge me a late fee, right? We love those. What are they, like $35 now? I have paid so many of them in my time. But if you realize that the reason they want you to pay one time on the 25th is because you are in a 25-day cycle. Now, some of you probably know this. I never knew this, but I know it now, and I still do this. Even though I don't carry debt on my credit cards, I still do this to keep my credit score strong. So if you need a boost in your credit score, try this. This $200, what if you decided to break that down in, I don't know, $25 payments throughout the month? So now, hear me. Oh my gosh, I sound like a judge when I said that. Is that what, or hear ye? I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, so if the 25-day cycle started on 9/1/24 and you have 25 days to get this payment in, right, before they charge you with a late fee, then what if in the first week here, let's say by, I don't know, the 8th of September, you had paid two $25 payments, okay? So you paid on the 2nd, and then you paid on the 8th, for example, just using a scenario here. Then the next week, let's say on the 10th, you paid $25 more, and then on the 15th, you paid $25 more. So now you've paid a total of $100, but you owe $200. So let's say in the 3rd week, you pay $25, and then on the 25th, you paid $25. Why does this make a difference? Why would this make a difference to a credit card company? Well, this 25-day cycle just got reset with that first $25. Then you reset it again with 25 more a few days later. Then you reset it again, 25 more a few days later. You could do this in $10 payments. You could do this in $50 payments, just as long as you meet the minimum due by the due date. Now, my credit union credit card, if it has a date of the 25th that it's due, and it does, you have to start doing these increments after the 1st of the month. You cannot start on the 26th. Why? Because the statement date that they do all their calculations occurs at my bank on the 30th, okay, the last day of the month. So if I make payments between the 25th and the 30th, it is not going to apply to my next due date. Okay, all of it's going to go in here in this month. I'm telling you that because if you go in and you start your $25 for the $200 due in October, you're not going to meet your minimum due. You have to make sure you start after the 1st of the month or after the statement date, whatever that is for your credit card. But this is not a guarantee that it will boost your credit score by doing this. But every client that I've ever worked with, if they start doing these increment payments throughout the month instead of just this one on the due date, I have seen credit score boost from 40 to 120 points by the next reporting date. So if you are struggling with your credit score, try this. Not saying that it's a guarantee it will work, but I haven't seen anybody it didn't work for. So it might be a good idea for you to try it. So remember, break up this cycle. One, it's going to reduce your balance, which gives you a lower average daily balance when they do figure or calculate your interest charges for this month. But for some reason, it does quite a boost on your score. So stay encouraged for you guys that are trying to get those scores up. Try a few little different things and see if it doesn't work for you. How should I get a line of credit to pay off my car? That's my only debt. You are going to have to find a line of credit, just like we've been talking about. You just try your local credit union. That appears to be the best place to get the lines of credit. Remember what I said about the credit card, how it will sometimes serve as a PLOC? You can transfer funds from the credit card into your checking account if it's with the same bank, okay, or credit union, and then start chunking down your car loan. If you have a $10,000 car loan balance and then you get a $10,000 line of credit limit, then just pay off your car and now you've got everything going into that line of credit. I hope that makes sense. That's exactly what I did. All right, so I think that we are going to finish up here. I am just super excited that you guys actually joined me today. Before we go, we have to ask the question. If you walk into a bank and you're looking for a line of credit and they say, hey, you should take this loan because this is a lower interest rate, what are you going to say?
No means no.
right? I do applaud all of you that are working very hard to get your finances under control. I tell you what, when I found Velocity Banking, I found a new way of life that did not only eliminate my debt, but it helped me in so many ways. It has been a whole new life financially, and not just financially, it helped every area of my life, because once you get your finances under control and you stop that paycheck to paycheck living and the stressors of everyday life that's causing marital problems, you don't get to see your children because you have to work all the time. Like Dave Ramsey says, forget your family, let's get out there and get 2 or 3 jobs. That is complete bull, and I don't appreciate that, because we have one life to live. And if you're living your life working 2 or 3 jobs to pay off your debt, then I'm sorry. What's the point of your life? What's the point of having the children? Did you have the children to give to a babysitter so that you could go? No, 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 no. No, that angers me when I hear that. We don't need beans and rice. Yes, eating beans and rice is certainly going to help your food bill go down. I'm all about saving money. I'm all about, stopping the additional expenses until you get your debt under control. But guess what? My lifestyle was at the minimum when I found Velocity Banking already, because I had been doing Dave Ramsey, because I had been cutting every corner I could. I couldn't even afford to give my children $5 to go to the book fair. That's ridiculous. So when somebody is now telling you to put your kids on the back burner and go get you another job delivering pizzas of a night because you're freaking broke, that's not fair. That's not fair to the moms and the dads out there that are working themselves to death, that are stressed out to the limit because they have no time for their family. I've worked on the road. I know what you guys are going through that are welders, pipe fitters, iron workers, whatever you are, and you are staying on the road, sending money home to your families. I feel for you, because that road life is not fun. It's not fun at all. It's a very, very lonely place to be. And when you're out there killing yourself to send money home, and you're going to do that until you die because you're so broke, because you're in so much debt. Sorry, let me calm it back down here. That just really hurts my soul. I don't want people to have to get second jobs. It's hard enough working one job depending on what you're doing. But to think that you are going to have to pick up another job now just so that you can make ends meet, when you're just maybe in the wrong tools at the bank and you're throwing money away to interest that you don't have to be throwing away. No, I'm going to sit and talk lines of credit. I don't care if TikTok keeps knocking me off. I'm going to, because it's my pleasure to introduce you to something that may change your entire life. It may give you your life back. You may be able to now spend every day at home with your children, every evening at least home with your children and your wife, your husband, whatever, your mother. Life is more than trying to pay off debt. And if I can help you understand that, and if I can bring you to a place that teaches you how to use bank tools correctly so that you are now able to enjoy your everyday life instead of work it away. Guys, if I could go back to the day when my little girls were little girls, I would have loved for somebody to come to me with this information. I would have loved to have not spent the hours, days, months, and years that I did stressing over how in the world I was going to make it from one day to the next financially. The stress that I put my children under because I actually had to feel weighed down, smothered, because I had a payment due the next day and I had no idea how I was going to make that payment. If you're in that situation, please let me send a word of encouragement to you. You do not have to stay there. Please just watch some videos, get some things in order here, learn how to use these banks. Banks are a good thing. I'm not trying to knock them. I love them. I want them to keep offering these lines of credit because that is what's going to change your life. That's what's going to make your finances better. I'm not talking about getting a credit card with a $10,000 line of credit on it, and then you go out here and buy TVs and toys and junk. No, let's adult. We're all adults. Let's get serious about our money. You work hard for your money, and it should work hard for you. It's a mindset, people. When we're sitting here thinking that we have no options but to go to work and kill ourselves working every single hour of overtime that we can, that's a mindset of poverty, and we don't need that. God did not call us down here to work ourselves to death and never see our families. He came, Jesus said, I came to give you life and give you life more abundantly. Do we know what the word abundant means? That's more than enough. So change your mindset about the way you're living your life. Why are you living it smothered by debt? All because if you live in the United States, that you have been taught how to use your money, and you maybe have been taught to use it incorrectly. Try it. Watch some videos. Learn the concept of velocity banking and see if that is not the very thing that starting today you can use to change your whole financial future. It's a beautiful life on the other side. You just have to get determined to get there, okay? Work on your credit scores. Get that stuff up. It doesn't take long. The only way it takes long is if you're already in a mess with a consolidation company. They are killer. Maybe you filed bankruptcy. Those two, you can use MoneyMax. MoneyMax does not care if you can get a line of credit. They don't care if you have a line of credit. They don't care what your credit score is. They don't care how high your DTI is. As long as you have $50 of cash flow a month, and I had just never heard of this. I've never heard of these options. Now I'm offering them to you because you deserve to know that there is a way out of that feeling that you have in your chest right now that's telling you you can't breathe because you have to make your house payment on the 1st and you have no idea how you're going to do that. I have been there. I have gone over the due date. I have gone over the 30 days and ruined my credit. I'm telling you, it's possible. You just have to learn something. You have to change your mind from the way that we were raised. And if you're an 80s child, it was pushed down our throat. I literally was told, well, yeah, you'll always have a house payment because everybody has mortgages. That's just the way of life. And it's not. It doesn't have to be. You can choose for it to be, but it doesn't have to be. Okay? So I am hoping that you guys are learning. I'm so sorry that I forgot to answer any questions that maybe popped up, but I do have an upcoming appointment and I don't want to be late because these people that come to me are just like you, looking for answers. And my prayer every day is that the Lord will give the YouTube channel fantastic favor so that people will want to open their eyes, watch a video, and then that concept falls on them like the favor of God. And they're like, oh my goodness, this could be the answer I've been looking for. That is exactly what I want to see happen to your life. I want you to write me and tell me, I have just seen the light at the end of the tunnel. That I get those every day, and I love that because now I know what my purpose on earth is here was to bring you some information that is going to make your life better and to give you peace. And that's all it's about, right? Is helping one another through this journey that we're all on, hopefully for our eternal salvation for sure. And while you're on earth here enjoying your life as well. That's all I want to see for you guys. So all of that being said, I am so excited that I got to spend a little bit of time with you today. Like I said, I hope you can come to the conference because I want to hug on you. It's all about making the YouTube audience, the TikTok audience, the Instagram audience, the Facebook group. Love you guys. I just want everybody to have a good time, and we are going to make sure you do if you come to the conference. So come on and let's do this. Like I said, this is my website, fantasticfinances.com. I also have Anna now. She's my assistant, and she is doing her own personal consultations. Of course, cheaper because she is learning herself, but she is excellent. So if you need any kind of financial push, I'll be glad to do that. She'll be glad to do that for you. But you can do this, and you can do it all by yourself. Just keep watching those videos, and you're going to see how easy it is. Okay, guys, I am going to sign off. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.